thing, this mask. But people expect it, you see. They think I'm a monster.
A monster? That was really nice.
Mm.
I don't have many male guests. How about you?
Certainly not.
I'm glad. It's not safe being bisexual these days. Do you have any hobbies?
None that you'd approve of.
Some of my best friends are into whips and things, and tying people up. I meet a lot of different people, all the time.
What kind of people?
Real weirdos, it seems. They come straight for me. But so what? Who's to say what's weird? And at least they're interesting. Anyway, it's a waste of time sitting around worrying about it.
There are some things I must tell you about myself. It's very difficult.
Don't be scared. I want you to feel like you can tell me anything. I'll understand.
Perhaps you should have known before.
It won't change anything.
I started to explain earlier. They think I'm a monster.
We're all a bit of a monster. First thing in the morning, I'm a terrible bitch.
You see, I had a horrible childhood. My father was a drunk. He was an evil man. My mother and I were forced to flee to America when I was very young. He hated us both.
No, that doesn't sound very pleasant at all.
He beat me as a child. Mother as well. It was awful. I can never feel guilty for the things I've done. Do you understand? It wasn't my fault. What about Hitler? He was a battered child, wasn't he? And look what he went on to do.
You have to forget. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't care, even if you were a mass murderer.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by mass murderer?
Did I say mass murderer? You mentioned Hitler. I didn't mean anything by it at all. I'm sorry. It must have been very difficult for you.
It was terrible. Mother told me everything. Things I couldn't possibly forget. Then one summer, we had moved to America. There was an accident at a camp we were staying at. It was supposed that I had drowned. I hadn't. No one knew it, but I lived. You cannot see my face in all its hideousness. If you could, you wouldn't stay. You'd run out on me. No one would stay.
But that's not true. I like you a lot, Jackson. You seem like a nice guy. You're considerate and sincere, and you washed up all the dishes after our tea. There's not too many men like that around.
You really mean that?
I do. Of course I do.
After Mother was gone, I lived in the wilds. A savage, almost. I learned to survive on my own. What choices were there? I lived with the animals. I taught myself everything. Some of the less fortunate camp counselors would leave books behind. I read them all, over and over again. My life is in its last hour, that I know. Nor would I redeem a moment of that hour. What I have done is done. I bear within a torture that could gain nothing from life. Thou didst not tempt me, and thou couldst not tempt me. I have not been thy dupe, nor am I prey. but was my own destroyer and will be my own hereafter. Back, ye baffled fiends. The hand of death is on me, but not yours. 'Tis over. My dull eyes can fix ye not, but all things swim around me, and the earth heaves as were beneath me. Fare thee well. Give me thy hand. 'Tis not so difficult to die.
That was wonderful. It was beautiful. I've heard great things about Byron.
Yes, yes. Passionate yet moody, remorseful yet unrepentant. All of my favorite adjectives. Manfred's tortured memory, that enormous guilt which drives a hero to his inevitable doom. One must admire that. Although, I find it quite a shame the limitations he established for himself.
I'm not sure what you mean exactly.
Well, being formally innovative was not a big concern of Byron's. His reputation suffers for it today, I think. His models were largely neoclassic and perhaps a bit worn. His lyrics a little old-fashioned, even in his own day.
It is unfortunate considering his genius. You know, it's not often I meet a man with such an appreciation for literature.
It's not often that I meet a woman.
Perhaps we can go for a walk in the park tomorrow. You could recite more Byron to me.